morning, everyone. Welcome to Sunday Morning Energizer. And for those of you that are present, thank you so much for your presence, because I feel that slowly but surely people are starting to get the fact that I'm hammering presence so much, and that I'm constantly saying to you, be present, be present, be present. I don't know what the bigger picture is for that. All I can say to you is that I absolutely know that it is real. So good morning, Sans. Good morning, Kate. Good morning, dearest Angie, dearest Andeka, dearest Lauren. Good morning, my beloved Kira. Good morning, Annette. I'm so honored to have all you ladies in my presence this morning. So I'm going to start with a card that I was guided to share with you from a deck that I bought years ago when I did the journey with Brandon Bays at the Kailami Theatre. It was in 2001, actually. I remember the year very clearly. It says life's challenges. Life offers us challenges so we can expand our abilities and stretch our horizons and strengthen in ourselves. Has some challenge been arising for you lately? Problems are best solved when they come from the certainty that the solution is already there. Just like I always share with you that you cannot ask the question unless you already know the answer. And everybody says, oh, how can you say that? Yes, because how can you ask a question about something that you know nothing about? You can't ask a question if you don't know. You can only ask a question about what you do know. Therefore, you have the answer. Because you are allowed, you are given access to the Akasha, the records, the book of man, where everything is recorded from the beginning to the end, and again from the beginning to the end. That book is cyclical and it contains all that is. You have access to it. So problems are best solved when we come from the certainty that the solution is already here. Not there. You don't have to go find it over there. The solution is already here with you, right here inside you. So I'm inviting you now for a moment to close your eyes and imagine receiving 3 balloons filled with empowering internal resources. One is filled with trust, one with wisdom, and one with clarity. 3 balloons. They come to you. Close your eyes. Imagine. Play the game. Let Spirit show you wonderful things. Close your eyes and imagine 3 balloons filled with empowering internal resources. They can be 3 massive hot air balloons. They can be those massive Chinese balloons that go to America. They can be any balloon you choose, filled with empowering resources. And the internal empowering resources. One is filled with trust, and you can fill it with anything you like, but these are good ones to work with, according to Brandon Bays. One is filled with trust, one is filled with wisdom, and one is filled with clarity. Imagine breathing these qualities into your own essence right now. And as you take each breath, it fills the very essence, the most concentrated part of yourself, your deepest, innermost well of your being. And let them suffuse your whole being. Let it become like the source that's in this innermost well of your being. That is the source of the water of life that sustains you. Now imagine how you will feel 1 year from now. And if we look back 1 year ago, look how quickly it went. I was just sharing with Sonia about things we spoke about 1 year ago, and it feels like yesterday. Now imagine how you'll feel 1 year from now, your future self. And as these qualities are busy permeating your life, trust. How beautiful it is to be able to trust yourself. Wisdom, to always know what the best and the most opportune way is to follow into the unknown. And clarity, to do so with eyes that see. Last time we gathered for this beautiful sacred space called Energizer on a Sunday morning, we spoke about that. We spoke about the ability to be present, because that's where you get clarity. When the I, the single I, becomes the I. You know, I don't have those notes here with me. I should have kept them with me to illustrate it to you. It's no longer the little I with the head at the top, because if you look at that eye, it looks just like a human. It's a little body and at the top is a head. It's not that I anymore. It's now this I. Let those who have the eye to see, see. That's clarity. When you can see things for what they are, and you get out of your head and you stop seeing with the neural pathways of your brain that has synapses and that has energy, but it doesn't have eyes. This is eyes. This is what you can see with, not with the stuff that goes on between these two temples. Between these two temples needs supposed to be a sacred space. What have you done with it? It's a place infused with worry and challenges and obstacles and, oh my God, what am I going to do-ness, and oh, I'll never get through this-ness, and oh, I don't have money-ness, and oh, I don't have a job-ness-ness, and this is, I've bitten off more than I can chew-ness. I mean, you know the thoughts that you sit with every day, they are in here. And they are the ones that create for you what you see with your eyes. It's the other way around. But you're not just seeing with these eyes into the physical world of objects and physical material things. You need to, and the sacred scripture says, these two eyes must become one. And with this done single eye, you will see the wisdom. I can't quote the Bible, but it's a sacred book. It has many beautiful messages for our lives. And wisdom that goes beyond the understanding of the human mind. And so are all sacred books. I read a beautiful piece last night in my notes from the practical school of philosophy that I was so privileged to attend. And the most amazing thing for me about going to that school was that they also have been going for over 50, 60 years as a school. And their teachings are also based on truth. Truth that doesn't, it's not the flavor of the month, it doesn't come and go. Truth that sustains through thousands and thousands and thousands of years. That's the source of your trust. When you have the wisdom to give yourself to things, and give yourself meaning trust. Because when you trust, you give yourself over completely. Look what we do when we play trust processes. It means that you have to completely let go of control of your body. That's complete. Trust is the absence of control. What do you need to control if you're going to be in a state of pure trust? And is there any reason why you can't trust yourself? You're a good person. You're trustworthy. Your word is sacred. You're an example. You live an exemplary life. You're honest. You're not. There's no shenanigans going on in your life that's going to impact another person negatively and with harm and with dishonesty and with malicious intent. malicious velocity, viciousness, that one cannot understand why human beings must behave like that in order to hurt another human being. And everybody's just collecting, they just want for themselves. And the sad part is, in my work I see it as well, and the sad part is that when I share with people and I show them the mirror and I say, look at what you do. Because in this space on a Sunday morning, I'm not going to sell you anything. I'm not going to tell you how you're supposed to be. That's not what truth does. When I spoke at the Krugersdorp church, spiritual church last Sunday, I was able to see this energy that just came over me from where I was sitting in the church on the pulpit at the top, which is a dream come true for me. I could see the whole church, and I saw this energy that just came over me. I saw it like a wave. And I don't think that there was a single person in the church that didn't experience their cup running over. Because that is what tears and crying really is. It's not a bad thing. Perhaps your face distorts a bit, and the reason why your face distorts so much is because you're so resisting to it happening. Because it's such an embarrassing thing that there should be water coming out of my eyes. Why? Does that not mean that you're being real? True divine energy, when you are going to be blessed to experience truth, it's a divine energy that lets your cup runneth over, not because you're crying, but because everything in here becomes so full with truth, with wisdom, and with clarity that you just completely trust and feel, because that's all you're supposed to do. That's why life is so full of challenges, because you feel them. And that's what people fear the most, to feel what's going on with them. And then you have those who have just decided that they are not going to do anything else than just enjoy themselves at the expense of others. Because you can't just go through life on permanent holiday and not work for years and years and years and expect your life to work. If you are a wealthy person and you're a billionaire, you even have to work. They don't take holidays for 3 years. They hardly ever take a holiday. And there's no use saying, oh, I can't this and I can't that. No, there's always a way. But life's challenges will meet the level of the challenges that you contribute. And if you're not going to be a contributor and you're just going to be a consumer, then you're going to have massive debt in the world as well as in the spiritual world. And then your life's challenges is going to grow exponentially. And no amount of spiritual journey and spiritual practices and meditation and affirmations is going to help you to change that. What you need to do is you need to restore the balance of energy, because equal exchange of energy is now not a must. It's imperative. If you don't know how to exchange energy equally, you cannot ascend from this third dimensional reality. You will not be included in higher levels of consciousness because you will fuck it up. Because if you cannot honor equal exchange of energy, you will cause a disharmony wherever you go. And that disharmony will be felt by you more than others. You will feel a disharmony that's going to make you cringe. And the sad part is you're going to blame it on the other. And if you add many, magnitude to other, you create mother. The M stands for magnitude, how big it is, how big the issues is that you have, that your mother gave me. I'm one. My mother told me every day that I'll be so fat when I'm grown up, I'll never be able to walk through a door normally. I'll have to turn sideways. My mother told me that every day. I remember it as clearly as if I ate a piece of bread, if I walked in and she saw me walking in, and I was a very thin child. I was very slim. I always hated my knobby knees. So it's not like I'm judging you. We all grow up with this thing of the other that we blame. And when we add an M to it, the magnitude of the other, because it's a hell of a lot of stuff that we blame, then it becomes mother. Because ultimately that's where the blame starts. She was your first relationship as a human being. The first human being that you saw was your mother. At least bonded with. Felt. On the outside. With other people that pull you out, they just manhandle you. You don't enjoy that very much. That's the first shock of being in this gross reality called life. Being handled like that as a baby. Fortunately, some mothers are waking up to the fact that the baby must come into this world in a more gentler fashion, and they give water births. So if you close your eyes and you imagine receiving 3 balloons filled with empowering internal resources. One is filled with trust, one is filled with wisdom, and one is filled with clarity. Imagine breathing these qualities into your body, not just right now, but continuously. Because those are energies. And you are breathing energy. You are breathing air. You are breathing atoms. So is trust. Trust is made up of atoms. It's a presence. It's a physical energy that you need to honor. And that you need to imbue yourself with. Why? Because you are feeling it. And when you feel it, you'll be living it. Now imagine how you'll feel 1 year from now, your future self. And when you have imbued these qualities, trust of yourself, the most wonderful wisdom, and wisdom comes from discernment. If you don't have discernment, you'll never have wisdom. Discernment is wisdom in action. Because you've got to be very careful what you choose and how you choose. That's why the higher your consciousness, the less free will you have. You have to be careful what you choose. And when you breathe these qualities all the time, you let them suffuse your whole being. And not just your being, but that electromagnetic frequency of your own heart. Because your heart has its own consciousness. It's a fact. Go and research the work of the Heart Math Institute. These things are not just presuppositions or we operate from the hypotheses. No, it's not a hypothesis. This is real. It's real because it's been like this since the beginning of time. And since you were created a human, your heart has a separate consciousness. It's not the same as your mind. And with this consciousness, you're generating an electromagnetic field that has been measured. And, unfortunately, our instruments are limited, but it extends for a very, very vast distance beyond your body if you choose to. But that's not a feat. Don't think, because my etheric body, my aura extends all the way to Timbuktu and back, now I'm, very spiritually evolved. No, not at all. It's an ability, but it's not something that puts you apart from anyone else. But what you need to consider is that between you and Timbuktu, everything in between here and there will be included in your own experience because you're including it. So it's perhaps safer to keep your aura rather small these days, unless you're between people that you can trust, that you can release your aura and make it include the people that you share your space with. Because that's a fabulous experience. That's a unity that I'm telling you now is real, and it's very rare. A space where you experience complete trust, wisdom, and clarity. Wow, it's priceless. Because nowhere out there can you buy it. Not. So when you start thinking about yourself 1 year from now, and you start considering your future self, because that's what you now need to do. You need to become a strategist in the world that we're living in, because you're living in a universe or in a world that's now based on a material reality that is post-apocalyptic and totally in chaos. It's dystopian. It's complete mayhem. It's filled with so many challenges we don't even count them anymore at the end of the day. It's load shedding, it's traffic, it's crime, the list just goes on and on and on. Politics and dissatisfaction and people being unhappy. When you imagine your life for a year from now on, permeate yourself with these qualities so that your life works irrespective of what's going on around you. Take yourself into another dimension, but you're still living on the earth. Everywhere we are being shown now that other dimensions exist parallel to the earth. They also live on the earth, we just don't see each other. That's really all it is. But its realities and dimensions as real as the one that you're sharing with me right now. Breathe how you breathe a year from now. Do you ever think how you'll breathe a year from now? If you want to be a strategist, you need to start thinking of these things. You need to think what the quality of the air will be like. It's not assumed. It's not an expectation. It's clarity. You need to see things for what they are. And how you feel. What you're going to feel in a year from now when the air is perhaps a lot more. I mean, apparently, Ekurhuleni, where we live, has the worst air quality of the whole of the world. No, not all of the world, all of South Africa. I don't think we're that bad. I mean, there's places like New Delhi that's much better, much worse. So, look back over the last year and see how effortlessly you faced that old challenges that was at the time kind of overwhelming. And look how many times you were making your own life a hell by wanting to understand what's going on, and understanding wasn't available to you, and it wasn't available to you. And then at the end of the day, it came available to you, and then life just suddenly changed. Because then you could say, oh, now I understand. And then it didn't even matter anymore. It was insignificant. But there was a time that your need for understanding made it so significant that you were a wreck. Now I'm asking you, why is it necessary for you to put yourself through such ridiculous struggle? And that's why I'm doing the Sunday Energizers, because I want to show you what it is that you're doing to yourself that makes your life a fucking misery. Life's challenges. Oh, it's a lacquer subject. Now I'm all ears. Yeah, I want to take you out of that cesspit, and I would like to give you energy for the weeks that come that makes your life prosper and flourish. We live on an earth all she offers us is bounty. She just, I'm in a fruit tree. It's so full of fruit. It just wants you to enjoy. But then we introduced ownership. And now everybody wants to own everything and nobody wants to share anything because it's about ownership. I must have more than you. There's enough for everybody. Not just enough, more than you can use. Because really, why do you need more than you can use? Use what you have and that's enough. Because everybody wants to accumulate. That's why there's not enough. Because there's enough for everybody. But now one oak wants to be the wealthiest man in the world. So he wants to have it all with him. Then that makes him very special. No, what makes him special is his inventions and his charisma and his risk and his authenticity. I often see how he cries when they talk about things that are close to his heart. His eyes fill up with tears. Especially when they ask him questions like, how does it feel to be rejected? Then he cries when he answers them. Old Elon Musk. He's such a strange character and he's South African. Doesn't that make you think? Anyway, so I digress. I'm chasing rabbits again. so you have to forgive me for that because I enjoy so much talking to you about these things that I sometimes forget myself. So if you look back over the past year, and you see how effortlessly you faced that old challenge, that when you think about it now, you want to laugh about the way that you carried on because you see yourself like in a play. Well, I see myself as if I'm in a play because I tell you, when I had to cut down this big pine tree in my driveway, that was a sight to behold. First of all, I had to now think about where I'm going to get the finances to pay to have the tree cut down because it started off with such exorbitant amounts because of the way people want to accumulate so that they can have more. Oh, Anyway, so the tree got cut down. There was no need for me to carry on like that. And the universe paid half of it. I didn't have to come up with the whole amount. I was supported. You see, so it never happens the way you think, but it always works out. Life never gives you more than you can handle, and that's why you can trust. So anyway, so if you look back over the last year and see how effortlessly you faced that old challenge, how easily it was resolved, it may even seem like as though it was never really a problem to start with. That grace somehow handled it all. That grace somehow handled it all. And whatever you want to call that grace, the cosmos, the energies, the source, God, whatever you want to call that. But grace is such a beautiful word because it's a graceful deed. It just takes it off your hands and sorts it out in a way that's satisfying. And there is something like that that's willing to support us. But it's only willing to support us because we become willing, available, and we have the capacity. Grace can't serve you if you don't have the capacity. And you don't get capacity unless you're available. And you cannot be available unless you are willing. You're not available if you're unwilling. That's when most people say they're willing, but they're not available. And that's what causes the unwillingness. Not the unwillingness itself, because they are willing. And that's why they can't understand it. But they're never available to receive. Capacity means that you give grace the opportunity to serve you. And then you must have the capacity because grace is infinite. And then your capacity to receive must be to be wealthy, to have it all, to have all the prosperity, to have all the money in the world, but not for the reasons to accumulate and to approve of yourself or to get the approval of others. Approve of yourself anyway because you're a good person. People can trust you. You do good work. You're willing to serve others. You don't always insist to be served. You honor equal exchange of energy. You are self-sufficient. You pay your own way. Because it's important to be self-sufficient. Otherwise, how can you be of service in equal exchange of energy if you haven't got how you're going to exchange it? You must make sure that you have in order to be able to exchange. An equal exchange of energy is not an eye for an eye. Because then one person is blind. No. Equal exchange of energy is consideration and generosity in action. You must consider others for what they're giving you. You must consider others for the investment that they make in you. You must consider others for the delivery, for what they give you in your life. It's consideration. It's not a sense of you give with guilt or you give under resentment or under duress. That's not equal exchange of energy. No. Don't do that to yourself. Because you're putting that into your future self. It's going to be done to you over there. Because what goes around comes around. It's not my rule. But if you're experiencing taking something from someone else and it makes them suffer because you're withholding, it's going to be withheld from you over there in the future because that's how the circle works. It's not if or maybe, and it's not going to happen the way you think. It's going to happen in a way to give you challenges, life's challenges, so that you can learn the lesson because you are stubborn over here. And then over there you want to blame and make excuses and do a whole lot of stuff that everybody else needs to sit and listen to. No, it's your stuff. Own it. You've created it. You made the choices that brought you to exactly the place that you're sitting complaining about and blaming others for. You made those choices. You did the thinking. You are feeling. Don't blame it on me. No. I give back what is yours and I take back what is mine because I own my life. And when I do things, I actually accept that there's consequences and it's going to be mine. But at the same time, I'm respecting myself for the energy and the quality and the exchange that I'm giving. And I don't ask, I expect the person who's on the other side to know what they are receiving and to honor me with equal exchange of energy, because if they don't, they haven't learned it. An equal exchange of energy is based on your own consumption. What you take, what you receive, what you get, you must honor with what you give. In value. And value represents many things, but it's consideration and generosity. You want consideration and generosity in your future self. You better start honoring equal exchange of energy and fast, because otherwise you're not coming with. You're going to stay behind in a reality that is dystopian, that is vile, that is a cesspit. So if you want to leave this reality and shift into higher dimensions of consciousness, it's time to now honor equal exchange of energy. And now imagine how you will feel from 1 year from now. Now that you know all the stuff, because now you have clarity. And now you are free to make the choices that's going to serve you 1 year from now. Because you need to start strategizing. This earth is not getting better, not the reality that we share. We need to create a new reality so that we can experience new things, because this is paradise. It's paradise. This earth is a paradise. It's one of the most beautiful planets in the whole cosmos. That's why we're here. We are given all this beauty to heal us. Most of your problems, when you look back over 2022, 2021, 2020, it's been difficult years. It's years in which the earth have changed forever. We're even speaking about a new normal. But now we look at it and it may not even seem like there was ever really a problem, because grace somehow handled it all. We got through it. Life never gives you more than you can handle. And a lot of people committed suicide. Someone in my circle committed suicide. Not someone in my circle, but someone that they know. Someone in my circle knows someone who's a friend of theirs that committed suicide because of what happened to him during COVID. He lost his business, he lost his family, and he committed suicide because he didn't receive a lesson that he needed to become self-sufficient. He was depending on far too many things. Because grace always handles it for us. And when it doesn't happen, you need to know that there's stuff that you need to let go of for a reason. That you have enough always. And you need to be self-sufficient. This needs to be an organism and that functions fully in order to be of service for anything outside of it. If it's sickly, if it doesn't function fully, it can be of no service to anyone, because it's either going to be contagious or it's going to be incapacitated. When you're sick, you're incapacitated. You can't participate. And some diseases prevent us from participating because it's so highly contagious and mortal. Oh, I've got such itchy eyes. I don't normally suffer with allergies, but it looks like I've got some allergies this summer, sure. So look back over the past year and realize that grace handled it all. And you, from the certainty that the challenge, has already been handled, comes true inspiration. Start from this certainty, from the certainty that the challenge has already been handled, because that's how it works here. You don't have to believe it. It was here long before you got here. Doesn't need your buy-in. It's not one of those things. You're talking about grace. Something that created you and all of that that's here. The thing that breathes your heart right now, that breathes your lungs, you don't even aware of it. Thank God. Imagine if you had to be aware of beating your heart and breathing your lungs, we'd all be dead by now. Because everybody's so lazy these days, they don't even want to breathe anymore. That's why COVID is a lung disease. We are forced to breathe because people are too lazy to breathe. We stop breathing when we're 6 months old. The baby at 6 months breathes with their entire lungs. From 6 months onward, we start breathing. By now, we're breathing probably with 25, 33% of our lung capacity, especially as me, because I'm not fit. And the air is free. But we have to think about breathing these days because you have to sit down for 10 minutes a day and just breathe properly. Your life will change in a year. You won't recognize how healthy you are. But breathe for 10 minutes a day with all of your lungs and just become still so that this can switch off. Not meditation. No. I don't advocate meditation. I advocate that you become in integrity with yourself for 10 minutes a day. Just to start with, because let me just look at the time. I want to talk to you about today. Let me just quickly welcome all of you and say a very special welcome. I haven't been looking because I don't wear my glasses, so I can't see who's here and who's not here. And I want to just I'm smiling. I want to just ask you to give permission, please. I give myself permission to receive my highest good today. I give myself permission to be pleasantly surprised. And then, of course, there's a whole lot more permissions that you need to remember to give. I'm not going to reiterate on all of them here today, but I can assure you that I'm constantly discovering more to give permission for in my own life. What a wonderful privilege. So please ensure that you honor yourself as the authority in your life by giving permission. So the Energizers for April will be on the 9th and the 23rd if you want to mark it in your diary, because on other days I am already committed. And again, a very special thank you for those of you that are present. Thank you for your presence. We have an exciting new topic to share today. The first was just the card that I reiterated on for so long because that was a lovely message for me as well. I teach best what I need to learn most. So we have an exciting new topic to share today. So relax. If you want to go grab a cup of coffee quickly and fill up your coffee, that's quite all right. Be in bed. Oh yeah, that's a great choice. I still need to treat myself to a cup of coffee in bed because I realize that I haven't actually enjoyed a proper coffee. You know, sitting in bed and having a cup of coffee in bed, I haven't done that for myself for probably about 10, 12, 15 years. So it's been a long time since I had that coffee in bed experience or that coffee in bed feeling. So I really need to create that for myself again. So relax, especially if you've been brought coffee in bed, relax. And yeah, that's a great choice for a Sunday morning. And real is rare. So it's rare to have such real moments in which pleasure is just real pleasure. Because happiness isn't pleasure, but to experience real pleasure is a sacred experience. So real is rare, and yeah, you are assured, absolutely assured that real is rare. Real is rare, and here you find real. So the Sunday Energizer for today, I'm going to start by sharing, just want to check the time again, some things that I learned at the School of Practical Philosophy. And the School of Practical Philosophy basically is based on the Vedas, on ancient Indian writing, thousands of years old. The Vedas must be 8, 10, 12,000 years old already. And it teaches the wisdom of Advaita, which means that it's beyond, it's not two. It's a system of non-duality, really, where we no longer have to weigh the one against the other in order to have a life experience. One of the greatest gifts I received from my short journey there, because unfortunately I wasn't allowed to continue because I refused to meditate as they ask us to meditate. I don't, that's not how it's not my truth about meditation, so I can't agree to it because I will not be doing it. So that's why they asked me to rather go there. So it is that the deception that inhibits our happiness it's a deception that the thing that inhibits our happiness in life is pleasure. You're not going to feel happy when you're feeling pleasure. It's not, the deception is that when you are in a state or in a feeling of pleasure, that happiness is going to be the value. No. We chase pleasure believing that it will give us happiness, but it doesn't. It doesn't. And we realize it very quickly as children. And when we do, it's a very big disappointment. Because then we start to think that happiness cannot be found anywhere. Because we found out that pleasure is not necessarily happiness. And the natural value of happiness is not out there. That's why we can't find it. It's one of the things that the creation fathers hid within us. The natural value of happiness is not derived from pleasure, because pleasure is normally something that's external. We don't know pleasure from the internal. And pleasure is very often a manipulation as well in the world. So it's a misconception. And happiness is a natural value. We see it in all living things, even in the planet kingdom. You can immediately see when a plant is happy. We just know it because happiness knows happiness. So for me, happiness, real happiness, is derived from integrity. It's not derived from pleasure. Real happiness is derived from integrity. And I only realized this very recently for myself, because I teach best what I need to learn most. The empowerment of integrity, because integrity is an empowering energy. So integration of integrity is a process that is sacred and requires sustained determination. It's not going to, I don't know why it's like that, but your determination to arrive your life at the place of integrity is going to require sustained determination because of life's challenges. That's the way it works here. I found it like that here in all the lifetimes that I've been here, and it hasn't changed yet. I don't think that this dimension will change it. I think it's going to stay the same and probably get worse. Like we see in the Mad Max movies, it's going to become like that eventually. But we can transcend this dimension. And we can go live in another, like the things that they depict in Middle Earth, for instance. It's the Earth, but it's Middle Earth. You know, that serenity, people are walking around in these beautiful valleys and rivers and waterfalls, and, you know, everything just feels pristine when you look at the visual, when you see, let the eye, those who have the eyes to see, when you see the potential of the energy that we create through the way that we view it, through the way that we experience it. We can create such places and we can share them. But it needs a very different kind of consciousness, and it needs different choices. So integration of integrity is a process that is sacred and requires sustained determination. Often, sustained determination means it happens often and it happens consistently through the life challenges that you are presented. You need to be sustained determination. Just in whatever you do, sustain your determination to see it through, to be thorough, to see it through to the end. Integrity is the harmony. And when you see things through to the end and you're thorough, you have that sense of completion. You have that sense of harmony, because in completion, many things are included. Completion cannot happen. It's the sound of one hand clapping. Completion needs, that's how it works here on earth. It needs company. It needs others. It needs other energies. So integrity is the harmony between intention, between your word, and between your action. So if you think about that, your intention is, this is what I want to see happen. This is my life in 1 year's time. That's your intention, because when you put your intention, it becomes an objective. You're going to make sure that it happens because you're going to give your word for it. Your word's going to be sacred and your action is going to support that. Do you know how many people I invite to this platform on a Sunday morning? Many. Most of them have already decided here what this space is about. They've never been here once. They have no inkling, and I keep sending them the invite. They have no inkling of what value they can receive here for their soul, for their journey out of this dystopian base three-dimensional reality. They can now start, because really, with the advent of the internet, you can see it everywhere. How they show you that these are different realities are now starting to, the veils are lifting, and these different realities are now starting to intersect each other in so many ways. It's only different realities, that's all it is. Because they've always been there. There's no time and space. So between intention, between your word and between action, integrity is a discipline of love that creates inner security. Integrity is a discipline of love that creates inner security. And integrity is a discipline, let me tell you that. Integrity is not something that you switch on and off like your mood. Integrity is a discipline, and a discipline requires sustained determination. Full stop. There is no one that can uphold a discipline without sustained determination. I'm telling you now, it doesn't exist. Not our relationship with discipline. Nope. And it's your capacity for sustained determination that creates inner security. Because if you don't have capacity for sustained determination, you're not ever going to not ever trust yourself. There won't be inner security. You're going to must now sit and wait for yourself to give up any moment. Sustained determination is a way forward. It's a way of respect for what I say I'm going to do. It's no pressure, it's no demands, it's none of that. It's just to be sacred with what you say you're going to do, with keeping your agreements. That's sustained determination. You don't have to worry about other people's stuff. They must do their stuff. Each person must sweep in front of his own door. And the whole world will be clean, Gutta says. So confidence and self-esteem is a bonus for trusting yourself. That's what you get. It's like they automatically, you don't even have to think about it. When you see your own sustained determination, you trust yourself, full stop. Who's not going to trust someone with sustained determination? My God, that's rare. Really rare. Integrity allows you to choose what promises you make. You don't have to make fucking every single promise that comes across your path. You can say no. But when you do make a promise, make that according to the reasons that have meaning for you. Don't make promises about things that you've not no interest in. I posted it on my Cosmic Kitchen page this week. Nobody got it. I think there was one person that responded to it. You know, I said something like, you can't possibly worry about stuff that you've got no interest in. Why would you worry about stuff that you've got no interest in when it's got nothing to do with you? What promises you make according to the reasons that have meaning for you. That's integrity. It empowers you to make wise decisions. And not just wise decisions, considerate choices that feel authentic and honor your values. Integrity allows you to say no without guilt or shame because you are not willing to compromise who you are. That's why you have a boundary, for no other reason. You respect yourself. You honor yourself. You walk your life with your path with dignity. It's not an easy journey being human. There's so much for us to learn and to integrate and to experience as beings who currently have come to Earth to help the human race. Really to help them, because they're down in the dumps. But it's not helping to help them. We now need to support ourselves. They're down in the dumps. You're not going to get them out of there. It's got to take one voice. They have to do it themselves. You can't breathe for somebody. You can't give them life on your behalf. You can't do their breathing for them. You can't do the eating for them. You can't do the heartbeat for them. People are doing it and attempting to do so on all levels in society at the moment. It's not working. You can't breathe on behalf of someone else. If they're on life support, they're not alive anymore. The minute they switch off the life support, the body is gone. Because none of the functions can happen without the breath. Nothing. Integrity allows you to say no without guilt or shame, because you are not willing to compromise who you are to make others comfortable. Honor your words and honor your actions. Doing away with the fear of having to upset someone because you're not going to, you're gonna put yourself down in order to do that for them, in order to say that to them. People are often very angry with me in sessions that I share with them because they really don't want to hear the truth. And I cannot spare them that anger because they need to hear the truth. Because they're not going to hear the truth, they're not going to change their life. And they go from person to person because they're looking for that person that's going to give them permission to continue with the shit that they carry on with in their life. And they can't. You can't just take off from life and go and enjoy yourself. Oh, good, Kate. Thank you for being here. I'll send you the recording, Kate. So when you say you will do it, then your power and your respect will grow within. When you say you will do it and you do it, you have sustained determination, you see it through. You said so. You agreed. Then your power and respect will grow within. You can express your integrity, absolutely. And you can get there you can do it with kindness and with consideration and with generosity. You need to now realize that equal exchange of energy is no longer something that is woo-woo. It's honoring the way that life works here on earth. Integrity is a holy gift. It's a sacred attitude. It's a gift of the soul. It's archaic, it's ancient, it's timeless, it's a mind that is timeless. That's where you want to be. Become infinite. Become infinite in the possibilities that can support you, that can carry you, that can guide you through the mystery of life. Because let me assure you, it's a mystery of note. To live this with consciousness. When you live it with energy, it's totally different. But to live it with consciousness and with material reality, to integrate those two is one of the biggest lessons. And it's an absolute privilege to be human to have to learn it that way. So It's a gift from your soul that bring you a powerful peace of mind and a loving self-respect. And for that, you need to have sustained determination with integrity. And that will always grow from trusting yourself, from having discernment so that you can live your life with wisdom, and that you have the clarity to see the truth. Because there's so much on offer, and real is rare. Now I shall return my glasses, and so that at least I can see if I'm still talking to people. Yeah, because now I can't even find my glasses. Oh yeah, they are. Good night, everybody. I mean, good morning, everybody. Have a wonderful day. I'm still over here with the hot air balloons. So have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for being here.